gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of Bloodlines. My name is Derek Soto. This is AJ Channer from Fire from the Gods, and I am not gonna fucking ask you how tour is going. Not at all.
Yeah.
We are gonna go straight into the questions because it's all real from here. Now, what I want to talk to you first is about the music videos that you've done. You've done 4 music videos off Narrative Retold. You've done Voiceless, Excuse Me, Evolve, which is the current one,
and Transmission.
and End Transmission.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And what I want to know is, you had a very specific direction for Evolve.
Right.
How do you feel that your lyricism with the song correlated to the message that you want to convey on the video?
It was a lot of trial and error, but it was something that I thought about for a long time. So I had gone over this idea and this concept for having a situation where many people from different walks of life and these different leaders, so to speak, these individual characters that represent certain aspects of society, like the woman that's wearing the blue dress. She's meant to represent our materialism, our individualism, where we're so obsessed with material wealth and gain that we miss the bigger picture, which the ultimate bigger picture is the betterment of humanity and the betterment of society. So you've got 2 guys there that are battling, that look like a black and a white guy that's battling the race issue and the dominant issue of whose life matters more than the other person.
So every section was an undertone to a very powerful overall message.
Exactly. Well, I wanted to use that setting to make it more satirical, like, after all these people are hanging out in a cafe or a club and, this band's playing and everyone's drinking this drink, it's kind of goofy, this drink that's called insanity. But, I feel like the world is drinking a lot of insanity right now, and it's, the unofficial definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And it's, not to take away from the video, but the underlying message is we can't keep doing those things in society. We can't keep tearing each other apart. We can't keep killing each other. We can't keep trying the same political routes, the same religious routes, and expecting a different outcome. So that was the meaning of behind the song Evolve and what I tried to portray with the video.
And you're absolutely right about that. And what I found funny about the video, what struck me the most, is that it's the band's performance, because you guys are crept up in a corner in the bar, and the song is going on and nobody's really listening to the overall message. Even it's pretty much like you're saying the answers are there to the problems that are plaguing, this world and this country, and yet no one is listening.
No one's listening.
That's
blind.
they're turning deaf ears.
Exactly. Why can't we just evolve? Why can't we really do what it takes to change our world? And that's the overall meaning behind Fire from the Gods. A lot of what's behind Fire from the Gods and a lot of what's behind narrative itself.
And it's kind of funny because, that was a very political piece. And, at least to me. And with your other songs that you have there, you have Excuse Me, you obviously have Evolve, you have Composition. Mm-hmm. Those are very powerful political pieces. And now, I noticed since we're pretty much in wartime, technically, because we are, and with this...
Constantly in a state of war.
Of course, but this current administration has been on the up and up with the controversies.
Right.
So what I want to know is with your music and with music from past events, like I say like Vietnam War, how we had music from Jefferson Airplane, we had White Rabbit, we had, Creedence Clearwater Revival with Fortunate Son. We've had many different songs from different bands that have defined a generation.
Right.
How do you feel that your music right now is defining the generation that you're reaching out to?
Well, for one, because we're such a new band and, not that many people know about us, but those that do know about us feel, and I think, I don't want to speak for the fans, speak for them, but I do get some of the feedback that people feel that we are culturally relevant. And, right now, and that the music is very indicative of the times. And hence the reason, again, why the record's called Narrative and Narrative Retold, because, it's my story, but it's a story and my narrative and the way I've seen the world, but it's very relatable to other people and the way they see the world and to what they envision and have seen since, living in an urban setting and how you react to the world. It's your narrative, my narrative, it's our narrative. So, I'm trying to be culturally relevant because, what better what better scenarios to write about than something that's real and what's going on in this world.
Absolutely right, and I agree with you on that, because you're talking to someone who's in an urban setting, who has grown up in an urban setting, and to see everything that's going on, to try to correlate your musicianship and your lyricism with a lot of the music videos and a lot of the performances you have. There's a bridge there, and being as Narrative is only almost 2 years old. Narrative came out in 2016. It's safe to say that your political stance is really striking a chord with your fans, at least to me from what I have seen, and I thoroughly enjoy that, because you're helping people think, and that's something that a lot of people are not doing nowadays. So now that we pretty much talked about the whole political aspects, it's been a year and a half, man. Narrative, dude. You played everywhere. You toured with POD. You toured with Alien Ant Farm. That was the last time I saw you here in this building at Gramercy Theater. Last time I saw you was here. That was actually the first performance I've seen you do with Fire from the Gods. Even last year was heavy for you. You played the Rock on the Range, Welcome to Rockville, Carolina Rebellion. You were all over the place, man. The band was on a high note beyond anything that, people can envision. What I'm trying to get to is, how is that momentum going to play out for this year for you? What do you anticipate anything? Are you expecting something? Like, is there some sort of dream that you wish to at least complete this year?
For sure, I got you. Me again, like I said, because we're such a new band, and we had a really good year after Narrative came out. 2017 was exceptional for us. We want to carry that momentum into 2018, which we already have. We've started with one really good tour of Mice and Men. We have another really good tour coming up after this, which is another full U.S. tour that we haven't announced yet. I'll tell you after. But and by the end of that tour, we will have traversed the United States again twice, which we did with Born of Osiris, and which we did exactly on the New Rain tour, and which we did with Warped Tour. So that's 4 times that we've traversed the United States with Narrative. So in terms of how the business works, you would tend to think that it's about time to start writing more music, which we are writing more music, and we could possibly have something come out by the end of this year or early next year. But I still feel, though, that there are still so many more people that need to hear Narrative, that I'd like to hear Narrative and introduce Fire from the Gods to another market or somewhere else that hasn't heard us, possibly Europe. So, we're working on, we're coming up with some more plans and some more ideas. But if that doesn't pan out, then we'll probably be in the studio writing more music. There's still a hell of a lot more to say as well.
Yeah, it's only been a year and a half for Narrative, and I feel like there's still a lot more to be done, as exactly like you said. I mean, you don't want to really jump the gun just because you're writing new music and then, lose traction on that album, because that album has defined what the band is all about. And I mean, may I say this, your sophomore album is going to be a monster. Because there's
we gotta beat Narrative, and that doesn't really happen for a lot of bands. It's usually their second record that they're where the band's fully matured and they know what they want to do, and they kind of go with it. But with us, we had such a really good response on Narrative. It's like, damn, what do we do? How do we beat Excuse Me now? So, but we're gonna approach it the same way we approach Narrative, and just give every song what every song needs, and not hold the past into account, and let that be what defines our next record.
I don't even have to say anything. He just took the words right out of my mouth, Your sophomore. Well, dude, it's been 7 years, man. 7 years we've known each other, and this is actually the first interview that we've done together. Right. So this is a long time coming. That's why this one is so important to me, and it's so important for your album and for people to know. Because it's a great mixture. You have a lot of political pieces there. You have a lot of self-help pieces there, too. In that, I mean, I'll tell you, one of my prime examples and one of my favorite records that's not, a political piece is Into the Blue. Into the Blue was a phenomenal song. And I always thought it was going to be in the set list when you perform. But it's like, you know what? I'll live. I'll live. It's still, there's some great pieces on there that touch upon for every age range and every demographic, so there is a lot to do with it. So I'm just gonna wrap this up really quick. One last question. We're gonna call this the simple question. Dream tour. what is the place you have not played yet that you really would like to perform at?
Man, Southeast Asia and Africa. You know, yeah, no, a lot of people are playing shows in Africa. I mean, stick to your guns. I always say this. They did that show out in Kenya, you know, and South Africa's got some really gnarly festivals. But and South, yeah, and like so, you know, I'd really like to do Southeast Asia and Africa.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't give it that much time. I'm sure I'll see something in the future for you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ, Fire from the Gods. Me, the Soto, first name Derek. I am here. This is Bloodlines. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side. Deuces!
Peace.